You know that moment when you're trying to tell a friend what someone else said, but it all comes out as a jumbled mess? Yeah, it happens to literally all of us when we're learning a new language. But today we're going to crack the code on how to report conversations in European Portuguese and do it like a pro.
I mean, think about it. You're trying to tell a great story, but the details get fuzzy in the retelling. Nailing this skill is what separates clear, confident communication from, well, total confusion. So stick with me, because by the end of this, you'll be reporting conversations so smoothly you'll surprise yourself.
Okay, so when it comes down to it, we've got two main ways to talk about what someone said. We can use direct speech, which is basically just quoting them word for word, with quotation marks and everything. Or we can use indirect speech, where we give the gist of their message. Let's break down what that really looks like.
Just look at this transformation right here. On the left, you've got the direct quote, estou doente. Simple enough, right? I am sick. But when we report that, it becomes ele disse que estava doente. Did you see that? The verb estou changes to estava. That little shift is the single most important key we're going to unlock today.
Now, the good news is you don't need to memorize a million different rules. It really all boils down to just 3 key shifts in your grammar toolbox. We're talking about changes to verbs, changes related to people and perspective, and changes for time and place. Let's dig into each one.
First up, verbs. The big idea here is that you're creating a little bit of grammatical distance. Since you're reporting something that was said in the past, the verb tense has to take one step further back in time. So, as you can see, the present tense, or presente, shifts back to the imperfect, imperfeito. The simple past, or preterito perfeito, moves back even further to the pluperfect. And the future, that shifts to the conditional, which makes sense, because you're talking about a future from a past perspective. It's a really consistent pattern once you see it.
All right, next up are the shifts in perspective. And honestly, this part is pretty intuitive. I mean, it just makes sense. Pronouns like eu or I obviously become ele or he. Time words also need an update. Hoje, or today, becomes nesse dia, on that day. And of course, place words do the same thing. Aqui, here, becomes ali, there. You're basically just adjusting the GPS coordinates from their point of view to yours.
Okay, enough with the theory. Let's see how all this stuff actually works in a real conversation. Let's imagine we're at a party and we're eavesdropping on Vitor and Ines. We're going to listen in and then practice reporting what he says.
So Vitor, trying to make some small talk, says, "A festa está muito animada." He's using the present tense, está, because he's in the moment, at the party right now. So the question is, how would you tell your friend about this later?
And here it is. This is how we'd report it. O Vitor disse que a festa estava muito animada. See that? The present tense está just took one step back in time to the imperfect estava. That's our first and most important rule right there in action. Simple as that.
Then he keeps going, talking about his plans. He says, "Na próxima semana vou de férias pro Algarve." Now, pay close attention here, because we've got 2 things that are going to need to change. That time expression, próxima semana, and the verb vou, which is about a future plan.
So check out how this transforms. We report it as ele contou que na semana seguinte ia de férias. You see how both pieces shifted? Próxima semana became semana seguinte, and the verb vou shifted back to ia. Using the imperfect tense like that to talk about the future from a past perspective is a classic, super common thing in Portuguese.
But what about questions? How do we handle those? Well, Vitor asks Ines a simple yes or no question. Tomas uma bebida? Basically, are you having a drink? Now, reporting questions has one extra little trick up its sleeve.
And here's that little trick. For any yes or no question, we just introduce the reported part with the word se, which means if or whether. So it becomes, o Vitor perguntou se ela tomava uma bebida. And notice, we still apply our verb rule. The present tomas shifts right back to the imperfect tomava. The main rule always applies.
Okay, let's level up and tackle a more advanced, but so useful situation, reporting contradictions. This is for all those, wait, but I thought you said, moments we all have when we think we've misheard something or someone changed their mind.
So, imagine your friend tells you, o filme foi bom. A simple statement, right? The movie was good. But for some reason, you remember them saying the exact opposite just yesterday.
You could clarify by saying this. Pensei que tinhas dito que o filme não tinha sido bom. That phrase right there, pensei que tinhas dito, I thought you had said, is your go-to formula. And just look at that verb shift.
The original past tense, foi, gets pushed even further back in time to the pluperfect, tinha sido. It's that same step back in time rule, just taken to the next level.
Let's try just one more of these. Your friend states, "No vou ao cinema." But wait a minute. That doesn't sound right at all based on the plans you made.
You could come back with julguei que tinhas dito que ias ao cinema. Now, julguei que is another fantastic option. It's a lot like pensei, okay? But it has a slight sense of assumption to it. And again, the verb does exactly what we expect. The future plan vou shifts back to the imperfect ias. This is such a natural, polite way to check if you've misunderstood something.
All right, I know that was a lot of information to take in. So let's pull all of it together into one simple, easy-to-use cheat sheet that you can use as your guide from now on. Here it is, your 4-step process to get this right every single time. Step 1, the big one. Shift the verb tense one step back into the past. Step 2, change the pronouns and possessives from their perspective to yours. Step 3, update any words about time and place. And finally, Step 4, pick the best reporting verb for the job, whether it's dizer, to say, contar, to tell, or perguntar, to ask. Follow these 4 steps and you're golden. And there you have it. You're now totally equipped to report what people say in Portuguese, from the simplest comments to those tricky contradictions. You're basically a reporting pro now. So my only question is, whose conversation are you going to report first?